Hello, my name is Agata Mouasher. I'm from the Griffith Business School. Today I'm going to be talking about how to use active learning using a deliberate design approach. So the challenge we faced was, how could we improve one of our learning outcomes and a Griffith graduate attribute, which was intercultural competence, using an active learning approach. Our approach was to use a deliberate design process, using a pedagogically driven template to choose the most appropriate active learning strategy and activities that suited the contextual environment. I used a template that I created from Goodyear's educational design space. It's a very useful framework because it helps you to begin with the end in mind, which is the learning outcomes or the graduate attributes. It requires pedagogy to drive the design process, and it ensures that learning tasks and activities are chosen which are contextually appropriate to the learning environment. So this approach and template is discussed in more detail in a related Spark. For us in this course, intercultural competence was a key learning outcome, and it was also one of the Griffith graduate attributes. So that's the learning outcome. Now from the pedagogy side, our high-level pedagogy was to use authentic learning, co-construction of knowledge, and problem-based learning. Putting the two together, this translated into the following active learning strategy, which was appropriate for our educational context. And that was 4 things. 1 is for students to work in teams, virtual teams, and 2, solve a problem, and 3, by using the tools on themselves, on the team, and on the case. And lastly, 2, reflect on the experience. Reflection meaning past, present, future, as well as on themselves and on their peers. There were a number of positive outcomes of embedding active learning by deliberate design. It increased student retention, so our dropout rate that semester was only 14%, down from an average of 23%. It increased student engagement based on the consistent attendance of over 80% of on-campus students and around 30% of online students. We had positive learning experiences based on the student reflections and their feedback. And we saw evidence of that intercultural competence as a key learning objective as gleaned from their student reflections and also interpersonal communication with the students. As a result, I received a Teaching and Excellence Recognition Scheme Award for my active learning approach. If you're thinking about embedding active learning to achieve your learning outcomes, consider the following. Use the handy template that has been created from Goodyear's framework to deliberately drive your design from a pedagogy perspective, but focusing on the learning outcomes. Begin with the end in mind and familiarize yourself with active learning strategies, tools, and techniques, and align them to your pedagogical approach rather than randomly choosing an active learning technique as an activity. Thank you.